What is going on, everyone? PHXGaming here, and today we are going to go over the Title Update 9 patch notes for Tuesday, April 21st. It will be conducted during the maintenance downtime, which will be approximately 3 hours, and maintenance will start at 9:30 CEST, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, and then 1:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So with this, let's go ahead and get right into the Title Update 9 patch notes. So with the patch notes, we've got it updating from 8.5 to 9, which will be approximately a 10 gig download. For fresh installations, you're going to have about a 70 to 80 gig depending on the platform. And then one of the major update to this title update is the exotic reconfiguration that we went over in State of the Game last week with Hamish, Nikki, and Chris. So let's get right into what we can expect from the exotic reconfiguration. You will now be able to upgrade exotic items to level 40 as well as re-roll their attributes with the new reconfiguration system available in the crafting bench. Find out more in our dedicated article here. We won't go into that. We already know about this exotic reconfiguration, so let's just continue on with the patch notes. Right now we've got going into game balance. So we've got exotics, talent, and named items. For exotics, Sawyer's knee pads have been reworked. You cannot be staggered by explosions. Increase total weapon damage by 3% each second you are not moving, stacks up to 10 times, and stacks are lost when moving. This exotic only provides defensive attributes and no brand bonus, so now has potential for high damage and makes it appealing to both red and blue builds. So the old version didn't provide enough engaging gameplay. This change should help with that, developer comment. So with this, I can see this being part of a good blue and red hybrid build. You definitely use it during solos. I'll definitely try and tweak something regarding one of my builds to use Sawyer's knee pads, so it should be very interesting. Next, we've got Imperial Dynasty buff, reduce cooldown to 35 seconds, down from 40. Dodge City Gunslinger, reduce charge up time from 30 seconds from 50 seconds. And then the Diamondback got a rework. So the Diamondback now grants all shots guaranteed crits for 5 seconds after hitting your mark. And then the Merciless and Ruthless got a buff. Explosion damage increased to 1200% up from 900%. I would definitely consider making an explosive build with this using China Line Industries, the other brand sets that give those explosive percentage increases. You should have a very, very fun time using this in PvE. Next, Lady Death no longer enhances turret skills. Bullet King base damage is now the same as the non-exotic LMG version. Exotic attribute roll quality. Now there's a lot of talk about how this actually works, so I'll try and explain it as best as I can. The exotic attribute roll quality, all exotics will now roll at the highest possible minimum roll regardless of the difficulty they are obtained in. Exotic items can still roll higher than the minimum, but minimum rolls are now higher. So what this means is if you're having trouble with heroic farming for exotic weapons and gear, you're probably going to want to start farming for challenging, because the percentage of the minimum roll is not going to change if you farm a lower difficulty. What will change though is how high the drop rate is for that specific exotic weapon or piece of gear, and the higher number on that exotic piece of gear and weapon that drops. So if you're farming challenging, you're going to have the minimum rolls regardless, but you're not going to have the highest possible god rolls. It is possible to get those high god rolls on challenging, normal, or hard, just with a lower drop chance. Talents, tag team reworked. The last enemy you have damage with a skill is marked. Dealing weapon damage to that enemy consumes the mark to reduce active cooldowns by 6 seconds, cooldown 4 seconds. Does not consume mark if no skill is on cooldown. Reassign to receive a buff. Killing an enemy adds 1 round of random special ammo into your sidearm. Reduce cooldown to 15 seconds, down from 20. Tamper proof has been reworked. Enemies that walk within 3 meters of your hive turret or remote pulse are shocked. The arm time is 2 seconds. Increase cooldown per skill to 10 seconds, up from 5. Empathetic resolve, received a buff. Repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 20 seconds, up from 10 seconds. 1 to 7% if self. Developer comment, currently it is difficult to keep a high uptime and 4-man content as non-tank players try to be as safe as possible and NPCs have higher lethality, so chip damage is less frequent. Creeping Death, when you apply a status effect, it also applies to all enemies within 8 meters, up from 5 of your target. Reduce cooldown to 15 seconds, down from 20. Overcharged talents now properly state they don't work in PvP. Into the named items. So we're all aware of the named items, Contractor's Gloves, Fox's Prayer, Hollow Man. They all got nerfed, but a few others also got nerfed as well and also buffed, so let's go over them. The Contractor's Gloves. Damage to armor has been lowered to 8%. Firm Handshake, status effects has been increased to 15%. Ammo Dump now correctly rolls 2 additional attributes. Claws Out now correctly has a skill tier core attribute roll. Now correctly rolls an attribute in addition to pistol damage and melee damage. Melee damage has been increased to 400%. Fox's Prayer, damage to out of cover lowered to 8%. The Hollow Man, damage to health lowered to 10%. Punch Drunk, headshot damage increased to 20%, and the Send Off removed perfectly rooted talent. I know that a lot of YouTubers and theory crafting revolved around the Send Off because of that perfectly rooted talent, so it's just a matter of time to see what they put as the perfect talent for the KSG shotgun, so we just gotta wait and see. Weapons, assault rifles received a buff, increased maximum roll of damage to health to 21%. If you play on Stadia, you will not see this be displayed correctly and instead see an increase to damage to health on other weapon types. This is a UI issue only and will be fixed with the next client update. Gear sets, True Patriot, white buff armor repair lowered to 2%, instead of 3% once every second. Main missions, Pentagon and DARPA Research Lab lowered difficulty to be on more par with other missions. Liberty Island lowered difficulty to be on more par with other missions. Wall Street reduced health and damage of the APC. And then the Stranded Tankard NPC composition has been adjusted. Going into the AI and NPC, signature weapons against named NPCs, slightly increased damage signature weapons deal to named enemies. Elite NPCs damage against player skills, reduced damage elite NPCs deal to player skills. So our skills should be, they shouldn't be one shot anymore, or even 2 shot for that matter. They should stick around for, a few shots before the elite NPCs actually get to them. The tank sprint speed, reduced sprint speed of tank archetype from all hostile factions. NPC shotguns, reduced damage of all NPC shotguns, adjusted range of some NPC shotguns, including the shotguns used by the Black Tusk Rusher. Status effects, reduced duration of poison and cleaners, napalm and snare when applied to players. Special ammo signaling, any NPC with special ammo has the same UI indication as from the special ammo directive. Example of who this affects: outcasts who pick up special ammo from boxes deployed by their support archetype, bounties who spawn with special ammo. So we should now be able to see the special ammo icon above the enemy's name or next to their name when they do pick it up. Rogue agents significantly reduce the armor of dynamically responding rogue agents. To prevent this from being too large of a nerf in 3 to 4 player co-op, a rogue agent can spawn with an armor kit which can repair their armor up to 70%. Slightly reduce the damage output of dynamically spawning rogue agents. NPC buff allies ability changed. Previously, certain bosses and bounties would magically overheal themselves and their fire team. This buff allies ability lacked clear messaging, so it has been replaced with a leader overheal ability. This is the same ability that the Riker's leader archetype has. Once the boss leader is killed, all their friendlies lose their overheal. The UI indicator of pulsating circles inward and outward in their nameplate signals when this ability is active. Loot rewards, increased power of drop exotics to always be of the highest tier, giving the highest minimum rolls. Added Operation Dark Hours, raid gear set, chest, and backpack items to the general loot pool, making them available outside of Operation Dark Hours. Lowered number of exotic components awarded from exotic deconstruction to match the cost of exotic reconfiguring. Lowered conflict XP amount from PvP weekly projects to match the required XP for one conflict level. Blueprints, combined a skill mod, blueprints of different qualities into a single blueprint per skill, scaling quality with that of the crafting bench. Added skill mod blueprints for the skills introduced in Warlords of New York. Added blueprints from the general blueprints pool to the first time weekly completion rewards of invaded missions. Added blueprints from the general blueprint pool to the rewards of daily projects. Skills, the sharpshooter's tactician skill base radius has been increased to 50 meters. Scoping is now enabled when using a shield skill. So about the scoping when using a shield skill, there were a lot of people using the M1A using the shield and the talent focus. So now whenever you use a sniper or a rifle that has that type of sight on it, it will automatically go into the sight instead of just being over the shoulder. And then we got a ton of bug fixes, gear, and skills. I'm not going to go ahead and read it. There's a lot of different bug fixes, a lot of different performance issues, Vanity Store, AI and NPC, Dark Zone and PvP, fixed an issue causing agent nameplates to be visible at incorrect distances. Shade nameplates are now visible at 15 meters. Rogue agent now visible at 30. Manhunt at 50. And then the values can change depending on Dark Zone perks. Fix several props. Fix a prop that could cause players to become stuck and immune when dropping from a certain location. Operation Dark Hours fixed an issue causing Razorback to not drop any subsequent keys after defeating it once. Audio fixed an issue causing the voiceover to overlap if the player goes through the Keener's Watch tutorial too quickly. Let's go over the gear and skills for the bug fixes. Fix several magazine attachments not matching their weapons or clipping with their models. Fix several scopes being offset on multiple weapons. So a lot of this is a lot of UI stuff, a lot of nothing too pertinent. A lot of the main issues and changes are up here, with the skills, loot rewards, NPCs, weapons, named items, talents, and all of the exotics. Again, Title Update 9 is all about the exotic reconfiguration. I think it's great being able to bring up our level 30 exotics and being able to re-roll them to get that possible god roll, which is possible. The amount, however, of times you're going to have to re-roll that weapon to get it god rolled is going to be very interesting to see, especially from people. So if you haven't been saving up your exotics, I would definitely recommend you start farming for exotics. Just try and find targeted loot areas. That's how I've been farming my exotics. Keep them there because I have a feeling that people are going to try and get those god rolls. It might take, more than 20 exotic components. And again, we don't even really know if our exotic components are going to be buffed in the way of resources, because it is capped right now at 20. I would assume that they would at least make it 30 or even 40, because I can see that everyone is going to try and use the exotic reconfiguration to their availability. So other than that, guys, it's a title update, a lot of good changes. I don't know how I feel about the named items. They're not too significant. You still got the damage to armor, lowered to 8%. You still got the Fox's Prayer, Hollow Man. Punch Drog seems to be going to be one of the best in slots now for headshot damage because of that increase to 20%. But the send-off is definitely going to take a hit, and I'm wondering exactly what it is that they're going to do to fix it, or what talent that they're going to put into it. Assault rifles, I can't wait to actually use the assault rifles, especially with the striker gear. I can see if you use the striker gear set with the punch drunk headshot damage, that's gonna do wonders. Other than that, guys, what do you guys think about the new title update? Leave your comments down below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Let me know how the exotic farming has been. What is the first exotic weapon that you're going to reconfigure? Mine personally is going to be my Eagle Bearer. I haven't touched the raid since it dropped last year. I haven't seen the need to. But other than that, guys, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications for every time I release a new video. We're almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark, and if we hit it, when we hit it, we'll definitely get a special video up and going. To all my other subscribers that are returning, thank you for watching the video. I really hope that the title update patch notes helped you kind of plan out what to expect, what to think about. Again, this is a 10 gig file size, so be prepared for, you have slow internet. Keep open your Uplay so it downloads throughout the night. Other than that, guys, I have nothing else further. Again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the title update 9 patch notes, and then I will catch you guys around next time. Take care.